another payment of $1,230 plus 70. That was rejected by the bank. And then
that was not rejected by the bank. Excuse me. That was not rejected.
Yeah, Judge, I think we should just have a hearing on this. So if we can
get, please, I'm talking.
If we can get a date.
1 second, please, I'm talking. Ms. White, please unmute her. Please unmute yourself, ma'am. Please do not interrupt the attorney again. Okay?
Okay.
It's disrespectful and rude. Mr. Joseph?
Yes, Judge.
Please don't interrupt me.
In Judge Washington's court, we have a tenant really arguing with the plaintiff's attorney over a bounce check. Does this tenant classify as a Karen? I would love to hear your opinions on this case. Thank you for watching, and let's get into the video.
Yep. Okay. Go.
Right. Management versus Ann White Gardette and Terrence Gardette. Case number 23C0316.
Anna White Gardette is here.
Joe Joseph for plaintiff.
All right. Last we were here, the outstanding balance was $4,923.19. We're supposed to be here for entry of order today.
Yeah, that didn't happen, Judge, obviously. So the balance through today's date is $3,648.19. It's my understanding.
Actually, as of today, it's $2,393.19.
Please let the court reporter be able to get the record here. It's my understanding, Judge, that a payment was tendered today. However, that obviously will not clear. The last payment prior to today's payment, which was made on March 17th, came back as NSF, made on March 15th. That came back as NSF. So I don't have the full confidence that the payment made today will have a different result. But I can tell the court that there is a pending payment that was submitted today. I will also tell the court that I did submit a proposed conditional dismissal to Ms. White Gardette for her review and signature. That was done just after the last court date. I only heard back this afternoon wanting to potentially change some of the dates that were proposed because it was a kind of a longer term payment plan. At this point, Judge, we are asking the court to enter a judgment today. We don't see that there's been cooperation, and this case has just been lingering, and I think it's appropriate for a judgment to enter at this juncture.
Ma'am, it sounds like you wrote a check that actually
No, actually all of that, most of that is unfactual. So I made a $3,300 payment on March 6th. On March 14th, I made a $1,300 payment that my bank rejected because they weren't familiar with Becca. I immediately contacted Becca Management and then immediately the same day readmitted the $1,300 payment. I also have been in contact with the landlord the entire time. She has agreed to the changes in the dates and amounts. And today I paid $1,300 with another $300 being paid on Friday. And I will still have the full balance by the date that was on the settlement agreement. I have contacted the lawyer because I'm uncomfortable signing the settlement agreement when, number one, it doesn't match what my landlord and I discussed. And number two, I also have an appointment with Hawk on the 4th and, looking into maybe getting some assistance from them. So I don't understand how this can go. First of all, nothing bounced on the 17th at all. I can show you the emails where I immediately repaid it literally 2 hours later. And the payment I made today was paid not by check on their online payment system.
All right. Do we need a hearing on this, Mr. Joseph, or do you want to check with your client and see if she's being truthful about the fact that she apparently there was some rejection by the bank and then she actually
I have an email right here that shows it.
I showed Judge that she paid $3,300 that cleared. I showed that there was a $1,300 payment that was then subsequently made. That was credited. Then there was a another payment of $1,230 plus 70. That was rejected by the bank. And then
That was not rejected by the bank.
Ma'am,
Excuse
ma'am,
me.
ma'am,
That was not
ma'am,
rejected.
ma'am.
yeah, Judge, I think we should just have a hearing on this. So if we
One
can get,
second, please. I'm talking.
if we can get a
One
date.
second, please. I'm talking. Miss White? Please unmute her. Please unmute yourself. Ma'am, please do not interrupt the attorney again. Okay?
Okay.
It's disrespectful and rude. Mr. Joseph,
Yes, Judge.
please don't interrupt me.
Oh, I didn't even realize you were talking at that time. I obviously understand that.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Joseph, please continue. You were explaining that the 1270 was rejected?
There was a payment, the way it breaks down in the ledger, there was a $1,230 payment and then $70. So the total amount was $1,300. That was submitted by WebPay on March 15th. Those came back as NSF on the 17th. It was returned, and the only note that we have, for whatever reason it was returned, it comes back as insufficient funds. That's how it is itemized. And then that last ledger record I have, because what would have been paid today, I didn't get an updated ledger. That would, well, I shouldn't say that. I did get an update from my client that she had made the payment today, but it obviously did not clear yet. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. Ms. White, now as to the 1230 and the $70, what is your, well, first of all, raise your right hand. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about to provide with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Now you may proceed.
So I'm looking at the ledger, the same one that he is looking at. And on 3/14, I made a $1,300 payment, and it says right next to the payment, NSF. That is the one that my bank rejected because it was like a web pay through my checking account, and they did not recognize Becca Management. They thought it was fraud. The very same day in the evening, it says paid by Anna White Gardette, shows up as the 15th, 1230. No NSF next to it. Also on 1215, web pay Visa, paid by Anna White, which cleared, no NSF, $70. That's the $1,300 that my bank rejected. I immediately repaid, which is consistent with the payment arrangement that I made with my landlord. That's why I did not sign the one that Mr. Joseph presented to me, because it did not match what my landlord and I had further discussed. And I'm not going to put myself in a position, especially when it says that if I don't make the payments exactly the way he wrote it, he can go to court without notice and evict me.
I understand.
So I want to make sure that I'm also protecting myself, which is why I came tonight. I did not expect Mr. Joseph to tell me that basically I'm lying and that both of those payments were rejected. If we do the math, there's no way my balance today would be $2348.19 if both $1,300 payments were rejected. I could not control my bank thinking it was fraud. I had to go into the office and explain to them and authorize it and all that good stuff. And now the payments go through with no problems. I keep in very close contact with Kara. I have a list of emails where I tell her what I paid. She asks me when I would like to pay the next time, what an amount will be her. And I have a constant conversation going back and forth. There's nothing about, I didn't keep my end and I'm not trustworthy and I should be evicted. There's nothing like that. I took a balance that was in the beginning, $8,223.19. And within a month, I've gotten it down to $2348.19. I've used my tax return. I've sold blood. I've sold items. I've done everything I can do. And to me, that shows that I'm willing to pay.
All right, Ms. White. Mr. Joseph, sir, can you please call your client and there's some agreement that she has with them that may reflect differently in your conditional order of dismissal, please?
I just got done with an exchange before I logged on, Judge, so I know exactly what their position is. There was a $1,300 rejection. There was repayment of that $1,300. There was a payment made today Obviously, that is not accounted for. Looks like the where my client essentially stands is, if, and I'm happy to talk to Miss White in a breakout room if she's willing to do that. But essentially, I cannot give her credit based on, for whatever reason, that NSF check happened or it came back as NSF. They're not going to just allow me to knock that off today with the most recent payment. So I can tell the court and I can tell Ms. White, she will get credit for that, obviously, if it goes through. But what I'm showing as the balance would be how I'd have to enter into any sort of conditional dismissal today.
But the conditional dismissal would reflect that she's supposed to pay a certain amount today, correct?
Well, the terms of that conditional dismissal, I think we're kind of past some of the guidelines on that. So we'd have to kind of we'd have to redraft it a little bit, because she would have paid the way that one broke down. It's different than what's transpired. But if the effect of that conditional dismissal was for her to have the balance paid by April 25th, including April's rent being paid, that offer would still stand with my client. It's just the numbers are going to look different in terms of, what to do based on, what we're seeing and what she's seeing on her portal since she made a payment today. And then the dates, frankly, I'm not even that concerned about the dates so much as I am as the final date to make sure everything is paid by April 25th. So like I said, I can discuss that with Ms. White in a breakout room. But the other problem, Judge, is Terrence Gardette is yet to appear at any one of our proceedings. So I can't get a bona fide agreement without Mr. Gardette present. And so
Mr. Gardette by default. I can default him as to this agreement since he has failed to show.
How would we do that? Through the conditional dismissal? If we did it,
and he's by default, this conditional dismissal applies to him too.
Okay, then if the court is agreeable to that, I don't have an issue then.
Right.
So if we can get a breakout room, then that's fine.
One moment before we do that, part of what I'm trying to do is get everybody calm so no one's yelling at anyone in a breakout room. Okay. So Ms. White, I want to make sure that you understand that when you go into the breakout room, everybody's going in there to try to get a resolution as to this conditional order of dismissal. Okay. So is there anything you need to say to me? Because I know you were trying to pipe up just a few minutes ago and you caught yourself. Is there anything else you need to say? Yes. That's not going to cause.
I think there's just no. I think I just want to reiterate. The only thing I'm asking for credit for today is the payment I made today.
Well,
the non-sufficient fund one that was made on the 15th, because my bank rejected it, I've already repaid it. So I don't need credit for that.
He's not, ma'am, that's not where the issue is. The issue is with the fact that you just made that payment today and they want to wait until they can confirm that it's cleared before you get credit for it. You will get credit.
I have no problem with that.
Everything goes through. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are you two able to talk to each other kindly in a breakout room at this time?
I'm fine. Yeah, Judge.
I'm sorry, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not an issue.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll put you in the breakout room. Are we ready to recall the Becca management matter yet?
Yes, Judge, we are.
All right, the court will recall the case of Becca Management versus Anna White Gardette, case number, and Terrence Gardette, case number 23C031816.
Thank you, Judge. Joe Joseph for plaintiff.
Anna White Gardette.
All right, thank you. All right, terms at this time is, I think we have a conditional order of dismissal forthcoming.
We do, Judge. So the breakdown for this conditional dismissal is going to read as such. This is going to include April rent, since it's going to go through April for repayment. Rent will break down as $4,430.75 plus core costs of 267.44 for a total amount in paragraph 2D of $4,698.19. And again, that is everything through April 1st. The conditions under paragraph 3 will read that will read the balance of paragraph 2D above, which includes rent for April of 2023, shall be paid as follows: $1,300 on or before March 29th. That's recognizing the payment that she made today. $1,600 on or before April 10th, and $1,798.19 on or before April 25th. Failure to pay any installment herein shall constitute a default, subject to the terms of paragraph 4B.
And 4B is what?
Paragraph 4B of the conditional dismissal is that the action may proceed without notice to the defendant if there's a default for further process.
All right.
And also, paragraph 7 regarding partial payment would not prevent them from pursuing their default rights.
Thank you. All right, Ms. White, it sounded like earlier you were very clear and had a full understanding that if you sign such an agreement, then they can, and you default on it, they can come back to court without notice to you and get a judgment and a immediate writ. So
Yeah.
first of all, is that 1,300 on or before March 29th, 1,600 on or before April 10th, and $1,798.19 on or before April 25th, your agreement, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. So you understand that you have 3 business days from the date that I signed this agreement to petition this court to set it aside for good cause. Good cause is rarely found, though, but it would need to be based on some rights that you're giving up that you didn't understand or other good reason. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Mr. Joseph, are you sending that to her to sign?
If the court would allow, we've already discussed about whether I'd have her consent to sign her name to this. If the court is satisfied and she consents on the record, I can simply just provide a signature here, and it obviously be default as to Terrence Gardette.
That is correct. And are you going to be copying her on what you submit to the court?
I can do that. Yes, Judge. I have her email address.
Please copy her on that. Ma'am, it is up to you. Are you giving him permission to sign your name with those agreements as stated on the record?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
All right. I will sign it upon its receipt. Thank you both for working on this. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help.
You're
Court's
welcome.
time help today. Thank you, Ms. Gardette.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh, God, that was horrible.